3 major substations in the temporarily occupied territories of Zaporizhzhia and Kherson regions were hit, causing a widespread blackout. Petro Andriushchenko, head of the Center for the Study of Occupation, shared this information on Espreso TV. This is actually the second day of strikes on critical infrastructure, mainly in the Russian-occupied territories. At least 3 major substations have been hit, 2 in the Melitopol district of Zaporizhzhia region and 1 last night near Henichesk, where a fire is still burning. As a result, most settlements in the Zaporizhzhia region and many in the occupied part of Kherson region are without electricity. What's happening is part of the effort to disrupt Russia's preparations for an offensive in the Zaporizhzhia direction. These strikes not only create instability but also prevent repair bases and infrastructure from preparing armored vehicles for assault units. They also slow down Russia's attempts to reintegrate the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant into its energy system, he said. Petro Andriushchenko added that the attack also offers a chance to significantly delay Russia's efforts to reintegrate the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant into its energy system. This means the process will be postponed, something we've discussed for a long time with Ukrainian defense forces as a way to prevent it. When we talk about critical infrastructure and the damage caused, we usually focus on blackouts and their impact. But several major Russian base locations were also hit, including one last night, northeast of Melitopol, he said. The head of the Center for Occupation Studies said a Russian base is currently on fire with a large amount of equipment and armored vehicles inside. We'll soon learn the full extent of the damage, but there was definitely a hit. There were also strikes on the Tokmak and Berdyansk areas. Overall, last night saw numerous strikes across the occupied part of the Zaporizhzhia region from Rozivka to Melitopol. Again, the visible damage to infrastructure is just the tip of the iceberg. The real issue is why the infrastructure won't function. There are no specialists or resources to repair the damage inflicted on the Melitopol substation, Andriushchenko explained.
Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said on Thursday that Germany aims to enlarge the country's army by some 50,000 to 60,000 troops. We expect that synchronous with the build-up of the capacities, and I can only repeat that a draft system is useless right now, because we don't have the needed capacities, neither in the barracks nor in training. That's why we need to increase these capacities. Until then it's volunteers, he told reporters in Brussels, Belgium. According to Associated Press, it comes as NATO defense ministers are set to approve purchasing targets for stocking up on weapons and military equipment to better defend Europe, the Arctic and the North Atlantic, as part of a U.S. push to ramp up security spending. The capability targets lay out goals for each of the 32 nations to purchase priority equipment like air defense systems, long-range missiles, artillery, ammunition, drones and strategic enablers such as air-to-air refueling, heavy air transport and logistics. Each nation's plan is classified, so details are scarce. Spurred on by their own security concerns, European allies and Canada have already been ramping up military spending, including arms and ammunition purchases, since Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. At the same time, some allies balk at U.S. demands to invest 5% of their gross domestic product in defense, 3.5% on core military spending and 1.5% on the roads, bridges, airfields and seaports needed to deploy armies more quickly when they have already struggled to grow their budgets to 2% of GDP. The new targets are assigned by NATO based on a blueprint agreed upon in 2023, the military organization's biggest planning shakeup since the Cold War, to defend its territory from an attack by Russia or another major adversary. Under those plans, NATO would aim to have up to 300,000 troops ready to move to its eastern flank within 30 days, although experts suggest the Allies would struggle to muster those kinds of numbers.
Ja, meine Damen und Herren, ich hoffe, wir haben alle gut geschlafen. Und für uns, für Deutschland bedeutet das, wir übernehmen traditionell, und das wird nicht anders sein dieses Mal, das zweitgrößte Paket an Fähigkeiten innerhalb der NATO. Und wir kommen, und das haben wir mehrfach betont, unserer Verantwortung nach als stärkster Volkswirtschaft in Europa. Und ich nenne natürlich keine Details aus einem einfachen Grund. Ich würde mir ungern von potenziellen Aggressoren in meine Karten schauen lassen. Also wir gehen davon aus, das ist aber auch nur eine Daumengröße, um es klar zu sagen, dass wir rund 50.000 bis 60.000 Soldatinnen und Soldaten in den stehenden Streitkräften mehr brauchen als heute. Und gleichzeitig wird sich die Frage natürlich stellen, reicht der neue Wehrdienst aus über die nächsten Jahre? Wir gehen davon aus, dass synchron zum Aufwuchs der Kapazitäten, und ich kann es immer nur wiederholen, uns nützt eine Wehrpflicht jetzt gar nichts, weil wir die Kapazitäten weder in den Kasernen noch in der Ausbildung haben. Deswegen müssen diese Kapazitäten aufwachsen. Bis dahin gilt Freiwilligkeit.
One of the largest US-led military exercises in Europe this year, Immediate Response 25, showed off its skills during a demonstration in northern Greece on Wednesday. According to Associated Press, bringing together 12,000 troops from 8 NATO countries, including the US, Greece, France, Bulgaria, Spain, and North Macedonia, the exercises are aimed at strengthening joint readiness and NATO interoperability. We're thankful for all allies and partners coming together, building readiness that ensures our collective security, and collective security requires great readiness. It requires great interoperability, and it's exercises like this that gives us a chance to come together and be stronger together, said Major General Levon Compton, Chief of Staff, U.S. Forces Europe and Africa. In addition to Greece, the exercise is taking place in multiple Balkan countries from May 26 to June 9.
Over the terrain to achieve greater supplies to Navy, maximizing
for having us. Thanks for being gracious.